Thanks for staying with us. Moving on now to our next segment. So recently, the federal government approved 5 billion naira distribution for each state, including the FCT, to enable them to procure food items in their respective states. We'll be looking at the purported impact of the palliative measures. We'll also be looking at the utility and distributions by each of the states. If you recall, the episode of 2020 is still very fresh in our memories, how many states and individuals managed the palliative programs properly. Joining us on the show to discuss this is a professional, socio-economic data analyst, and professor is Professor Samuel Odewumi. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Good to have you on the show.
Yes,
Always a pleasure. You can call us on 081 076 41679, 09024163440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourView TVC so we can read your tweets. So last week, obviously, we heard this announcement about the 5 billion naira that's been sent to all the states. Since then, we've heard news of palliatives being released. Some states have gone ahead to release this money and grains and food items and all that. Number one worry is, many have asked that given a uniform amount across the country, these are the federal government has the data of how many people who need it. Is it equal amount of people across the nation, or how did they determine 5 billion naira in the first place? Do you think that's enough? Because there's some states that have more poor people versus other states. So how did they determine 5 billion naira across board? Because that can therefore suggest that in some states it might go into the wrong pockets, that it might not need up to 5 billion.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice being here. I love coming this way. I'm also an Agbero, in addition to that
really?
is a transportant from Lagos State University, immediate past dean of the school. Okay. Now, last time I was talking of a German flaw for those who are with us. Today I will start with the theorems of this issue. And three are the one I want to put on the table in order to understand that question and for able to engage it and suggest, because what is happening is that everybody is just trying to wobble, fumble their way through the issue of palliatives. So the first is that deregulation of the fuel of the downstream sector, that's fuel subsidy removal, is inevitable. Okay. That's the first theorem. You don't engage a theorem. It's taken as a truth. Okay. The second one is that deregulation of the downstream, that is fuel subsidy removal, and deregulation of the forex created a huge pain because when you deregulate the fuel, the transport fare goes up, and life becomes difficult for almost everybody. Yeah. And when you collapse the exchange rate, then cost of living goes, it's like kicking a stubborn goat with the two legs. So you have your ass on the floor. Yeah. And that's what happened to us. But that is the second theorem. The third theorem is that palliatives are not solutions, although they are necessary for political and social reasons. The last one is that there are real solutions, which I want us to spend more time on, because it's so easy to describe problems and not offer those who are there. And I know your platform is a powerful one to speak, to advise, to suggest, because many of them are so busy. So, but some of us that are in the classroom, that's all we do, think about it every day. So that is now on the palliative, there are about 10 palliatives that they've been mentioning. We may take them one by one. The 5 billion is one that is given to the state. You are right, spot on, that distribution is inequitable. It is equal, but it's not equal. You know, you can have equality without equity. Yes. So what they did is equality sacrificing equity. Yes. So that is for that. Then they got also $3 billion to defend the naira. I agree with that, and I think because what happened immediately they push out the $3 billion is that they were able to bring down the exchange rate from almost 1,000 down to 700, and between 700 and 800. So, in fact, I will say along that they should go to World Bank, who are advising us to go into it, and IMF, and get more money to be able to solidly defend the Naira, that should be between 600 and 700. So then they also went and bought fertilizers, distribute 5 trucks per state. That also has its challenges. It has problem of equity. It's equality, but it has problem of equity. You have the issue of rice. They bought rice. They bought grain, rice. So 5 trucks across the state, and 40,000 bags of maize and all that. They gave loans to medium and small scale, loan and grant. Then cash transfers, although we always also engage that. Cash transfer from the $800 million the World Bank gave. And Nigerians had problem with it. I also think it's not right to just, all transfers is basically wrong in the sense, no, not wrong. It's not appropriate. Because in some places it has been used very well. But where we are, Awolowo said, I will rather ask people to dig hole and be filling it than to give you free money. You must be doing something for the money you are earning. For instance, that transfer you are doing to 12 million families, 8,000 naira every month for 6 months, for doing nothing. First of all, there is a problem of distribution. How do you allocate it with typical Nigerian problem? But suppose you use it to attack another problem, which is the security situation. Say, for these 12 million families, bring a young man that will recruit into vigilante, that will make sure that there is security on the farm, security on the road, security in the home.
We're addressing 2 problems at the same time.
3, that means people will be able to go to their farm, people will be able to do their economic activities, you will save. Then these people are useful.
Yes.
For the society in their, so, and they will feel proud that they are earning money. By the time you give money free to people, you are destroying them. You are turning them into permanent beggars. You are not giving them any. So, and President Tinubu said when he was campaigning that he's going to recruit 5 million people to look like he's want to send out these people, like call them Amontekun or whatever. I mean, retired soldiers, retired police, retired civil defense. So as to, because the first thing, one of the critical things, I will rest my case now because I know you want to ask another question, is that we need to secure this nation. That's one of the biggest palliative. So of course they also went into, I mentioned the issue of cash transfer, and then they want to do 11,500 new vehicles that will be using gas. They want to buy 55,000 kits for conversion. So that is what they are doing now, currently. Then they want to buy buses too. Well, there are some issues with how to make it sustainable, because you can ask where are the ones they bought during Abacha, Jonathan. So these are some of the issues, but that is what they are doing. Now, we will not say the palliative is not, because please, somebody check what is palliative on Google. So you will read it out. Right. So I will rest there when they read it.
Maybe let's be jumping here. Is there a question?
I have a question, but in your conversation, I see that you've answered it. We remember how the last palliative program went, and I just kind of think about why palliatives, why palliatives. Now, you also highlighted the fact that there are more sustainable measures to put in place to ensure that we're not just giving people fish, but we're teaching them how to fish. Yeah. And that kind of like sums it up for me. But sometimes we hear people say talk is cheap. So how, step by step, does the government put these other things in place without making people feel like where we're eating from, they're trying to block it?
I love that question. So what's palliative?
Yeah, it says a medicine or form of medical care, relieving symptoms without dealing with the cause of the condition, or is something that relieves condition, the pain, without solving the problem.
Yes.
So we shouldn't even use the word palliative.
No, palliative is
No,
correct
palliative
because
is
it's
correct.
temporary.
That is what we are doing. It's like
Yeah.
when a baby is crying, there is no food. There is something we call omonjowo, a theater. They just it's rubber. There's nothing to
Pacifier.
it. Just put it in his mouth so that it will keep quiet. Because in the baby's mind, it is like a feeding bottle, but it's an empty.
Yeah.
Now, that is what palliative is. And we got stuck into it. What normally I'm not happy about is some of us that are elites and discussant. We don't bring this out to the people that actually you don't need this palliative. So, but for the like in the Bible, somebody said, but it was not permitted to have divorce in the times of. I said, no, but for the stick nakedness of your heart, then it was granted. Now, because of who we are, that's why we support the government to do some palliative. But there are palliatives which I will suggest now. One, because that's now back to your question of, so what are the things? Number one, because it is a very acute situation, the best form is salary award to quickly address the situation, because you are giving money to the workers, which we also cascade down to all these people you are mentioning. You are buying rice, you don't need it. Give a month's salary and say, we will pay you in 3 months. So, or 2 months installment as a hardship allowance, or call it just hardship allowance. So that is, to me, very, very crucial. Then two, where are these problems from? The problem is from transportation. The price of transport went up. So what do? First of all, address the issues that are related. How do you crash that thing? Now, you have to spend your money where it will be most impactful. Now, you have to, because CNG is about 100 naira per liter, as against the 600 naira per liter of. So you have to roll it out as quickly as possible. I have the group with NITT, that is Nigerian Institute of Technology. They've been on this thing for about 2 years. They perfected all the model. So what is left? And they are working with the Ministry of Transportation how to roll it out. Now, you may say that may take about 2 to 3 months, because the problem now is not that people don't want to use, but where are we going to get it? Because they say they are selling a horse at 10 kobo in Sokoto, but how do you get there to go and buy it and bring it? The transport cost will be more than the... So if there is no spread of the infrastructure, we have to fast track. All the 774 local governments in Nigeria must have this ability to dispense. In fact, the best thing is that all petrol stations in this country should be partakers in the rollout of the gas, so that when you convert, you are sure. Then too, I advise that we convert to hybrid. That is something that can use both so that when you are stuck in traffic and you don't get, you can switch off to your... So that is a major solution. Then we must get, I've mentioned it.
Let me pause it for a second, sir.
Yeah.
I'm going to break. When I come back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.